Hey people, what is going on? I am The Broken Puppet, and I've got another video for today. This is a really cool one. It's an old school lion face. It's a really cool sort of like, kind of 3/4 kind of angle. It's a really fun one. Just a heads up, this video is sponsored by Tattoo Space. I've got a really cool brush set with them that features 30 animal heads. One just like this. You've got 3 different lion heads. You've got 30 different animal heads on there, and each one has a full 12-stage tutorial, which is really cool. It shows you guys how to draw it. So yeah, if you like this, make sure you check out that as well. But for now, people, here we go. How to draw an old school lion face. So I'm going to start off with a circle, just like this. Going to get another circle at the bottom, just like this. So the idea is head and his jaw. You're going to get a curved line, just coming through these, come down to give a sense of where his face is looking. And once you've got that, I'm going to get this nice oval shape, which is going to kind of fit in this middle. Make sure it's fairly high. You don't want to be touching this kind of circle below. You want the mouth nice and open. If this is touching, you're not going to really be able to open the mouth wide enough. This kind of gives a separation between it. Once you've got this oval in here, you're going to get a little circle, say roughly around here, another one roughly around here or so. Going to get a little V shape just here for the nose, another V shape just here to sort of divide up the kind of mouth bit. It's kind of how the mouth kind of opens up. And just get a rough idea, you're going to sketch in some rough lines just around the outside for your whiskers. And then the mouth. The mouth is going to sit, so you're going to get this little curved line that's going to fit inside this space. And that's going to create your bottom part of the lip. I'm not going to worry too much about the outside and stuff at the minute, we're kind of sort of building up the rough sort of shape. So once we have this done, I'm going to sketch in a few other little bits and I'm putting on out to pens afterwards. So I'm going to get an oval shape above the eyebrow, an oval shape over here, another one above, just kind of get that kind of like nice kind of angry kind of expression kind of going on, and a rough circle just up here. And the other one, if you kind of go from like the center part of the nose, cut through the eye, this is where you want the other one. So it's going to be the ears. So you're going to have jaw, ears, nose. Now done in a minute, it looks a bit like a kind of crazy kind of mouse, but trust me, trust in the madness, it will work. And it will look fantastic when it's done, I promise. So I'm going to start off with, let's get a nice kind of detail to begin with. I'm going to start off with, should we say, the nose area? Yeah, let's start with the nose, I think. So where you got this kind of little V line just here, I'm going to create a little curve up, a little curve, and bring that line outwards. Same on this side, so I'm going to curve up, little curve line outwards, like so. And now this line's going to curve around the hair on there. That's gross. Little curve line just here. And a curve line just here. Make sure this side's a little bit longer than this one is. It's just so it kind of fits right, really. I'm going to create a couple of curve lines just here. Got a bit of an angry part of the top of the nose. A little line just down here, and then going to go to the mouth. So it's going to curve around. I'm going to wiggle this around the outside just here. And again, this side, going to wiggle that around there. So you've got this nice kind of muzzle, where the mouth's going to kind of be. And once I've got it done, I'm going to bring in the teeth. So I'm going to bring in one fang on this side to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can go 6, but I kind of like run a bit of space there, get a second fang in there. And that's going to sort of finish that top part of the mouth. And once you've got this done, we kind of got a good base to kind of work off of now. So now we've got this, I'm going to start off with the eyes. So I'm going to create a nice kind of curve. It's going to loop around the eye bit, just like this. I want this nice kind of frown to begin with. It's going to exist there. I'm going to get this nice curve, it's going to curve outwards. Curve back. This is going to create little loops that kind of exist above the lion's kind of face. It's a very key feature. If you don't have it, it just won't quite look right, in my opinion. Another one we're going to have is this little kind of curve just here. So where this loop comes up, we're going to create a little loop just off of that. Get our circles in there for the eyes. Just like so. Bring a little line just underneath. If you've got space, just connect up to the outside part just there. So now we've got that done, we've got the rough eyes in there now. So now we've got the eyes, I'm going to create this bit of the forehead, which we can work the mane off of. So this is quite simple. We're going to curve up around this, a little dip, curve up, and the center part, create another dip, and loop that around. So you just kind of have this kind of bit of bumpy bit. So where the kind of line for the center part is, you want to dip in that center part, and just 2 little dips on the side bits there. And that'll just give you this nice kind of like angry looking forehead. Yeah, I mean, there's other ways of doing it, but I like doing it that way. Little pupil. So got the eyes going in there now. And now I'm going to get the whiskers in here. For this one, I think I'm just going to go kind of basic. So I'm going to get nice kind of stripes. And I generally have 4. You know, 4 is my kind of magic number for the whiskers. You can do these wavy, you can do these straight, you can do these as just single lines if you want. You know, there's lots of different ways of doing the whiskers, to be honest. It's going to create a little curved line for a bit of cheek, and a little line just underneath the eye part just there. Another little line just here underneath that eye. So now we've got this, you've got the whiskers in there. And where should we go now? Let's get the cheeks, or should we get the bottom part of the mouth? Let's go for the bottom part of the mouth. I'll build all the base, and then we'll kind of build the mane around it. So we're going to create that curve there, where that bottom part of the lip is. And then once we have this, we're going to curve this line out. It's going to wave out, like so. We're going to create a secondary line that's going to mimic this. Just go a little bit higher on the side parts of this lip. Just there. And once you've got that done, we're going to the teeth. So in this corner, I'm going to have one fang. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until kind of go to the edge. The other tooth. The tongue on the inside is just going to be a loop. It's going to loop around, curve up like so. Little line there, and you want a little line just on the inside part here, just to kind of show you where this part of the gum on this side exists, curving this way. Now come down this bottom part now. Now we've got this in here, I'm going to create this chin. So it's going to curve around here. And once we get to here, I'm going to curve. I'm going to bump outwards. I'm going to create this first part of the cheek, which is going to go here. A secondary part of the cheek, which is going to curve around. So there. Another part which is going to curve here. Just to there. And lastly, another part that's going to curve here to there. So this is basically the inside part of the lion face without the mane and without the ears. Now it looks a bit weird at this stage, but once you put the mane in there, this is where the magic happens. A lot of people kind of get it wrong, so they do this stage and think it looks weird without the rest of it. But trust me, stick with this and you're going to love it. So I'm going to come down now. I'm going to go back to the pencil to begin with, to sort of sketch things out for you roughly. So we have this chin. You're going to create this little curved line like this. Curve this round, and what we're going to do, we're going to make sections. So for the chin, I want a goatee. So the goatee is going to exist like this. After side part, I'm going to create a little loop. It's going to curve around, and we're going to make this a bit wider now. So we go from a goatee to a bottom beard. And then we've got one beard when we've got our sideburns in here. So I'm going to create this nice kind of curved line, curving in here. And then once we get to this stage, they're going to start to flick out. Because obviously this bit's kind of nice and neat as it curves down. And as we go further up here, they're going to get more and more spiky. So we've kind of got these little sideburns on this part. So it's kind of like from around this kind of area. So we're going to create this nice curve. Coming down. There, create another curve. Joining up here. And it's important, make the sections before you do the inner lines. You know, a lot of people just want to go line crazy. That's not how you do it. You know, it won't look right. You know, it's an easy way to kind of ruin your lion rather. Tiger, wrong bloody animal. So we're going to create this another curve here. Now we sort of bring this up, so this is going to bring it up to the ears. So just want to make a couple of curves, kind of curving up here. And again, same on this side, so we're going to keep curving this curve around. Kind of create a few of them kind of whips, so one big, one small, you know, these kind of sort of structure bits. And now you want to make sure this part from here is going to kind of overlap this kind of sort of ear part. So the ear wants to sit behind the mane, not in front of the mane. And once you've got it done, a bit on the outside of the mane, a bit spiky on top. So this top part, just make a few spikes. Again, make sure this curve goes over so the ear sits on top of this. And then behind the ear, and again, make a few spikes, like so. And that'll give you kind of mane around the outside. And now we've got this done, I'm going to fold this in this, and then after we've done this, we're going to add the inner lines. So let's keep folding these in there. Try try to get that nice kind of curve going with these lines. You know, just you'll get sort of the motion after a while now. You basically want this nice kind of S curve to these. Once you get this nice kind of motion flowing, it'll come together really easy. Once you got up to where the ears are, I say now add the ears. The ears are going to be simple. We're actually going to bring a nice kind of curve around the outside, like so. Going to create this little loop on the inner part. I'm going to create a couple lines just kind of curving down from it. A little loop at the bottom if you want. Same on the other side, it's going to create loop around, loop curve. Couple of wiggy lines just inside. So you can see we've got this nice kind of sort of mane existing around the outside now, so now the face feels much fuller, and now you can see it looks like a lion, doesn't it? I'm going to get these little dots just on the inside part of the cheek. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can add the fourth if you want, but I think that sort of do it. For now, it's going to quickly rub out all this kind of pencil work, and then we're going to get those inner lines done in the mane. If you like my tutorials, head over to tattoospace.com. You've got some awesome brush sets, including my heads and how-tos. That's got over 60 brushes, including 30 12-stage tutorials. That's tattoospace.com, link in the description below. So now we've got the outside part of the mane done. I'm going to get those inner mane lines done now. So basically what you want to do is basically mimic the line shapes on the inside, just slowly kind of curving them. So try and leave roughly about the same kind of inner space between them. You know, and if it's got like a curve where it sort of switches direction, just slowly sort of like make that transition. I say it's easier to work from the outside in than it is the inside out sometimes. So work from like the outside sort of line. Now you can add as few as you want. You can make these thinner as well if you want. I'm making them nice and bold because I want it really kind of classic vintage, old school kind of vibe. So nice big bold lines. But I say that, I mean, old school ones generally weren't that bold. They gone bold over time. I think we tattoo old school tattoos a lot bolder now than they used to. But we've all kind of got in our heads that old school is naturally supposed to be bold. So it comes together pretty quickly. Now just stick with it and you have all these lines in there before you know it. So we are getting there. If you make any little mistakes, don't worry too much, because we are going to be doing this mane quite dark. So if there's any little mistakes in there, you kind of like bugging you, don't worry, because chances are you won't see them when we're finished. So now I've got that done, I'm going to start shading it in. To shade it in, I'm going to use winsor and brush markers. You can use whatever you want. You can use pencils, paints, pens, markers. If you can't get hold of these, you can use stuff like Copics. They're really good. But yeah, just whatever you have at your disposal, people, just use that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start off with my black, like the grey shades. I'm going to start this in the mane to begin with. So I'm just going to pick one section at a time, because markers tend to dry fairly quickly, so you know, don't take too many sections at once. I'm going to go black, and I'm going to use a dark grey. I'm going to use a side-to-side motion and just work over the edge. Now I'm using Bristol board paper. I feel like I always said that too late. Which is really good. It helps to bleed quite a bit. If you use non-paper, it might bleed a fair little bit. So you need to be fairly quick with them. But you tend to be fairly quick with markers anyway. So they tend to dry fairly quick. So make sure you allow enough time for like your pen to dry as well. You know, Bristol is really good with Sharpie, it dries fairly quick. So I can go almost like instantly. But a lot of other pens won't do that there, they will stay wet for quite a while. So yeah, just bear in mind that, you know, your pen will need time to dry. Otherwise it will sort of smudge it. And that's not what you want. I'm just going to go one by one. And then get there before you know it. Now you can do like the entire thing, you know, like sort of going down all around, you know, around the edge, all black, and get this nice even sort of shade. But I like doing these one individually. I just feel like it adds a bit more kind of dynamic to it, and it just separates each strand, which makes it more fun. So each little hair segment feels different. You know, which I think is kind of key to it. You know, if you don't do that, it just doesn't feel the same. Now this way takes longer, but it's worth it. And once you're on the bigger sections, it goes quick anyway. Just remember to keep going side to side. Like, don't just sort of try and flicking down. You'll have a much harder time trying to get a nice even blend if you flick downwards. You know what I mean by that, I'll show you in a second. Don't kind of flick down this way. You know, I know it kind of feels natural because that's kind of how you'd probably do it a lot of time if you was drawing. But with markers, it just doesn't work the same way. Just work over those greys. Sorry if I cough quite a bit. You probably heard me saying in a few of the videos, I've got COVID in a minute. I've done a few of these videos kind of back to back, so yeah. If my voice sounds a bit off, that's why. If I've said a bit nasally, that's why. If the captions are going crazy, saying all sorts of random stuff, that's why. For some reason, YouTube captions can go crazy. I don't know if it's because of my accent or the way I talk. I know I do talk a little bit fast at times. It's just the way I talk, really. I'm just a fast talker. I think fast, I talk fast. So it's all come together quite nicely now. It's all building up at a nice rate. Just keep going, just keep being systematic with it, and you'll be there before you know it. Now, if you want to go lighter with this, you can do, but traditionally, like when you see a lot of the old school lines, the mains tend to be very dark. That's why I'm doing this. You know, but yeah, if you want to go lighter with it, you can do, but you just might notice it just doesn't have the same feel to it. Oop. I recommend not trying to hold all the pens in one hand. I always do when I draw. I literally hold like 5-6 markers in my hand at the same time. You know, you can just put them down and just pick them up one by one. I always tend to, when I'm drawing, I tend to hold like everything I'm using, I just will have it in my hand at the same time. Don't know why, if anything it makes it longer and just sort of switch between inside my hand. Almost done with this mane. We're getting around to that top. Let's get that there. Blend this around, and then we're on the home stretch. Cool. I'm happy with it. So now I've got it done, I'm going to add the black in a few areas that we're going to be putting it as well. So inside the mouth will be a bit of black, just there, a little bit at the bottom of the tongue, just there, a little bit of corner of the mouth. There will be a few areas as well. This is just the inside mouth parts. You know, it's very important to make sure you add plenty of black to old school designs. It just makes them feel better. You know, just feel right. You know, a lot of time I know some people get a bit intimidated by going too dark, but trust me, once you get the habit of doing it, especially for old school and stuff like neo-trad Japanese, you realise just how important it is. You know, especially pure black. You know, so you've used like a nice kind of high grade B pencil or black water paints or black markers. Very, very important. This lip here is going to be black. So I'm going to add a little highlight just at the top. So I'm going to put black across that bottom section. Just get my grey shade. Going around this edge. And that bit of lip done.
So Dad, what are you doing?
I'm doing a YouTube video, baby.
What are you doing?
My little boy is currently asking me what I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm filming, baby. I'm showing people how to draw.
oh.
Is that cool?
I'm doing that tomorrow.
You're doing that tomorrow, are you?
Yeah, I'm doing that tomorrow.
Okay. Sorry, excuse me, having a little conversation there.
I'm gonna draw something tomorrow.
Yeah.
About something. It's gonna
Maybe one day he'll take over and he'll be doing the tutorials.
be very good, guys. I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just keep on the show. So I've got a little bit here just behind the whiskers. I'm just shading in.
Don't forget, Daddy, where does that light come from?
Just now we're done. Get a little bit of black just underneath the chin. Nothing too crazy. I just basically want to get a little bit of shadow just coming out in this general kind of sort of shape. And lastly, grab me a white, or my lightest grey. Blend out. Now, also just remember that the shades will go lighter as they dry. So when you first put them in there, if they're not light enough, give it a chance to dry, because chances are it'll be lighter than you think. So I'm going to get a little bit of black just here, a little black just there, and then just underneath this top part of the nose. Now just keep going through your grey shades, just blending this out. Cool. I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of greys now, just in a few areas. Just a little bit just there, which I'll blend that with a number 1. I'm not going to go to the pure black, but I'm going to go to maybe a number 3 on these greys. And just each one of these little dips on that forehead part, just going to put a little bit of grey and just blend down from that. Let's go down to number 1, so it just kind of fades to nothing. Let's get my number 2, just a little bit, just on this inner part of the nose. And then lastly, just inside the nose here, I'm going to bring this line coming down to the center just here. And then use the 1 and come the other way. I'm going to leave a little bit of white on top. I basically just want this to kind of sort of change the colour when I sort of shade over it. And lastly, just a little bit of grey, just coming from this centre part of the nose, just fading outwards. Nothing too crazy. I'm just going to have a couple of lines just coming here of those circle bits, aiming inwards. I think that'll do it for the greys, I think. I'm not going to go too crazy with the greys. Now I'm going to get my colours. I think for this one I'm going to use cinnamon, plus a bit of sandstone, a bit of amber, a bit of berry red. No, I'm not going to use that. See, I think these will be the colours used for most of it, I think. I'm going to start off with the bold colour that I know areas I want to use. So I'm going to use the red. I know I want the reds in a little gap around the eyes. I know I want reds inside the mouth. And I know I want red around the tongue. I'm going to leave a little highlight just across the top of that tongue. I'm going to put reds initially over this part of the gum just here. But I'll probably hit it with a bit of blue later and turn it purple. I think that'd be for the red. And I'm going to come in with the cinnamon. It might not be dark enough, but I'll see how I apply it. Yeah, I quite like this. It's just kind of got that kind of lion kind of tone to it. So I'm going to go section by section. If this will be done with the cinnamon. And I was going to check, I'm going to either use sandstone or the amber, I haven't decided yet. Or a bit of both, possibly. Just going to blend that over that. And then once we got there, I'm going to hit the amber and probably just give it a nice little coat over the top. Yeah, I like that. Gives it a nice kind of sort of line kind of tone to it, which is exactly what I'm after. So yeah, so that's basically the cinnamon into the sandstone into the amber. I'm going to do this for most of the face. A few little areas like here, I'm just going to bring it down on the side, just add a little bit of extra sort of shade on this curve. Bring that around. Just there, and then again, just come in with that amber tone. Just kind of wave over the top. You know, I want this colour to be nice and strong because obviously you've got a lot of black in the background, so you want this colour to stand out. And the amber really does help that. So I definitely recommend using a nice kind of amber kind of tone. Or yellow. Yellow or orange. You want something basically along those lines to kind of really bring it out. Just going to keep putting these around. Ooh, wrong tone. Use some cinnamon. So just bring that cinnamon out, just get a nice kind of curve to it. Get that sandstone. Blend out that cinnamon. It's all about just trying to find a nice set of colours that kind of really blend well off each other. And these ones are very good. I really like this combination. In case you don't realise, I do tend to experiment quite a bit in my colours, so when you hear me talking about it, I'm like, oh yes, because I haven't really sort of done it that way, or it's just kind of what I'm just throwing together at that point and just hoping for the best. So now I've got that done, it's going to come up to the ears. Just want this cinnamon on the bottom. Got that amber. I'm going to go back to that berry red, which I forgot because I want the inside parts to ear red. You can use pinks, but generally, old school, you would generally use reds inside ears. I really like how that looks. And then lastly, I want to grab me pink rose. I'm just going to quickly do that over the nose. Very quick pass, so the grey's kind of the grey's up in earlier. Do the transition for me. And then lastly, I'm going to get a nice colour. This one's going to be mint green. I'm just going to put a little of this in the eye. Just going to add a little bit of colour in there. Now you can throw some blues if you want inside the face. I'm not going to, because I quite like how it looks like that. I think that is kind of how I want it to look. So yeah, people, I hope you like that. You know, if you like this, like I said, make sure you check out my Procreate brush set. You know, head to now twos. You know, it's got 30 different animals, including 3 lion heads, and it's got 3 tutorials for them. A 12-stage tutorial showing exactly how to draw it. They're really handy tools. If you like my videos, you're definitely going to like those. So I really recommend it. And plus, it's a way to support my channel, which I really appreciate. You know, the more it buys, the more videos I can do, because the more time I can take away from tattooing. So yeah, everything you kind of sort of post, you know, like buying there, just comes towards me kind of making more videos, really. So yeah, people, I hope that helps. Make sure check my stuff. That's at tattoospace.com. I'm The Broken Puppet, and I'll see you next time, people. Peace.